family? Welcome to That Sports Dude. As always, you know I'm your host, Chris Dunlap, here with my special guest co-host, as always, my man, KP. What's up, boy?
What's up, Woodson? How you doing,
I'm good, man. Boy, we back at it again.
What's this, 3 years?
3 years of this,
okay.
Man. I'm excited. You excited?
Yeah, you already know.
So, my man already know what's up. So for anyone who's just now tuning in, or anybody who watched last year's or the year before that, you guys know how this show is gonna go. So we're gonna give you an in-depth preview of the upcoming 2019 DCIAA football season. We're gonna hear from 2 championship winning programs, and then I'll reveal my highly anticipated playoff and championship predictions. But before all that, yo, Slim, what do you think? Should we check out, look back at 2018 real quick?
Got to. It was a crazy year. Got to. Big plays.
Oh yeah. Let's do that. So, man, we already here at HD Woodson, the defending Turkey Bowl champ. So let's start there. The story last year was, would HD regain the throne? Well, in 2018, man, they answered that question, defeating Baloo 18-12 in an overtime classic in Turkey Bowl 49 to get back on the throne, man. But tell me, dominant year for HD Woodson, man. From your perspective, man, what were some things that they did, man, that just set them apart from everybody else?
I say the first part, like, people don't remember, HD sort of struggled at the beginning of the season, that out-of-town game. So people were going into the season like, I don't know.
Right,
and remember, they had a thriller with Kingman, Academy here.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
It was
that's
like
true.
People were going into it. Wow, I don't know how HD gonna be, and of course losing a lot of the 5-star, 4-star players.
Right,
so it was different. But once league play got into it, they came along and they got it together, and it was a crazy year for them. It was good. I mean, I was impressed.
Me too. Especially, the thing that impressed me the most was how dominant that defense was, especially that front seven. I called it. Yeah, you surely did.
I called it. I said that defense gonna be the best in the city.
You did. You surely did. So I mean, just a dominant defense. I mean, of course, first person we got to talk about, obviously, TSDN Defensive Player of the Year, Keyshawn Hunter, 19 plus sacks, 19 just in the regular season.
Yeah. I mean, he went off. I mean, he's shown why he a Division I player. You know, he's shown why he's gonna be a Power 5 player.
Right. And then of course, you know, the UVA commit who's down there now, Tenye Dixon, had another dominant season. Didn't get the 7 picks, didn't get the 10 picks that I expected, but I mean, that's what happens when people don't throw you away.
I wasn't even throwing at him either. I mean, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I'm not gonna throw at you.
Yeah, and 2 names I think that went under the radar. Senior 4-year starter Marquise Tucker and transfer Jabari Haney at linebacker. Those 2 linebackers, both with 100+ tackles in a year, just both really added some key components to that defense, man. What was a couple other things?
So what I knew about Marquise. I knew what he was gonna bring to the table. I actually played against Marquise. I think he was a freshman. Right. So I already knew his intensity, everything he brought to the table. But I was surprised about Jabari Haney because he didn't end up joining HD till literally camp. Right. So he was just a plug-in, which was a big piece. I mean, mother called him Boom for a reason.
Yeah, man. He
definitely striking.
Yes, he was. He brought the hammer down.
But it was. They were. I really like Jabari, his intensity. You know, sometimes he had some situations where you could tell he hasn't played in a minute, but he actually made up for it a lot. And I feel like he helped their defense a lot. And I feel like overall, the best defense, they took care.
I agree. So, and one thing, and then we'll move on. One thing that surprised me was how dominant that run game actually turned out to be. I mean, Chris Roberts surpassed the 1,000-yard mark. Man, who did you see that coming?
I saw it coming. I recruited him when he was in middle school. I know his older brother, so I knew that was going. I didn't know when it was going to happen. I didn't know what year it would be, what his breakout year would be. Of course, his 10th grade year, he was behind Salahuddin, of course. So I was hoping his 11th grade year, and it happened. Yeah. And I'm expecting even bigger things. You know, he's working out, getting faster, getting stronger every day. So I'm expecting bigger things this year.
For sure, man. Absolutely. So of course, we talked about the defending champions. So when it comes to like we kind of did last year with Bell and Roosevelt, when you talk about winning, kind of got to talk about losing. So unfortunately, the Blue Knights, they missed the repeat. As we just mentioned, they lost to HD Woodson in Turkey Bowl 49 in overtime. But
that was a great game.
Yes, it was.
I think people sometimes where they feel like, somebody lost or y'all weren't good. No, that was a great game. Even
somebody got to win, somebody got to lose.
Look, even the regular season game was good. Like, it was 2 good games. It wasn't, HD just came in and put 50 on both times. It was a great game. Like, it literally could have went either way.
Both games were decided by touchdowns.
And I want to say, was Ballou leading in the Turkey Bowl 1-1?
Yeah. Yes,
so, I mean, it was a great game. It was a great game.
They actually, and in the regular season game, they actually scored first. Scored on the opening play from scrimmage.
You're right.
So, and again, like you said about Ballou, and what we've come to know about Ballou, man, is that they turn it on at the end of the season, when it's most important. They started slow. They fell to Wilson in the regular season, but come playoff time, they beat Wilson for the second straight year to make it their second consecutive Turkey Bowl appearance. Just a really great season for the Knights in spite of the Turkey Bowl loss. One thing that stuck out for the Knights? Give me one play or one thing.
One play?
One player or one thing.
I'm about to say one play. That play versus Roosevelt.
My gosh!
I mean, I can't even say that play was a drive. Like people don't remember before Gators catch. Mo has a catch too. That was Jamal's first game back. I mean, it was a lot of things.
And then of course we got to talk. Speaking of that play, and one player, the Stars Division MVP, Levante Gator, just absolutely went off last year.
I mean, he was at every position.
Literally.
He was last person I seen really do something like that probably was Nate Bussey.
Yep.
But of course, Gator was at receiver as well. So I mean, he was all over the field.
Quarterback, running back, kick, punt return.
And he was relentless. I remember versus Roosevelt, he had a shoulder injury. And the next week, he barely could move his arm.
Wow.
I mean, he was relentless with it, and I respect that.
Me too. Yeah. And like, of course, we mentioned, Gator, the return of Jamal Speaks, which really made a difference, especially in those games against HD. And another name that really, man, and he actually told me that he was gonna have this type of season, was my man D Young. My man number 5.
Deshaun Young.
Yeah, there you go. Deshaun Young. I can never remember his first name. Deshaun Young. In the playoff game against Wilson, they tallied it at 4 sacks, but it seemed like it was like 7 sacks. It was crazy.
That game, I'm not gonna say it was lopsided, but it wasn't that classic thriller that we sometimes we usually been seeing, but it definitely was, a big thing.
And that's the thing about Ballou, man, about them turning it on. That's kind of what happened. What happened was.
And I don't even say it's just them. Of course, you got LeBron Johnson, the corner did a good job, and of course up front, Jaquan Fraley, Big Beanie.
And though he didn't have the super breakout year, quarterback Aaron Penny, man, showed a whole lot of promise.
Yeah.
Of course, I even said this on Twitter. You got good Penny, and you got bad Penny. Mm-hmm. When you got good Penny, scoring 2 touchdowns against both in both of the HD games, the regular season game and the Turkey Bowl. Mm-hmm. You got bad Penny. Interceptions, no touchdowns.
I'll say this. I say he progressed during the season, which I can accept, and I've even
especially for a first-year starter.
Yeah, and even when we've been in games together, I see him. He's literally taking notes. I see him with his notepad,
really,
legit taking notes. Like he's trying to get better.
Keep that up.
He's working hard with it. And I can respect that. He told me he got some things he wanted to work on, and I respect it. He got better. Every game, in my opinion. I feel like every game from. I'm gonna say, let's just go from league play. Mm-hmm. He got better. I can take that.
I agree. So we talked about top 2 teams, Turkey Bowl matchup. Let's go to who was my Turkey Bowl pick, and I heard heat. Ooh, as hot as it is right now, boy, it was even more heat. It was like 150-degree type of heat. Mm-hmm. But I love that though. Wilson waits again. They lost to the Blue Knights in the playoffs, 28-14. Started strong, actually clinched the number 2 seed, so my predictions were looking pretty good for a second. But again, lost to Ballou, and looks like we've been saying this, man, at least since 2012 now. The question is the same thing: what is holding them back?
I think you sort of had something to play.
I agree. I was thinking the same thing.
I'm not gonna
put the target on their back, maybe.
I feel like you heard them. You heard them in a sense. Like they beat Ballou up on Wilson. That was a good game. Mm-hmm. But when they came down HD for homecoming, I mean, HD was. I mean, a lot of things went on last season. HD was definitely playing with fate. Tragically, third string quarterback Ethan Lane, he got shot. One of my guys I coach, and it was a very emotional day. Very emotional, but. HD pulled it out, and it seemed like it was going in their favor, literally from the opening kickoff.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, so I mean, it was big, and I'm gonna say It was your fault. I'm gonna say that. I'll blame you for it.
I'll take that. Sorry, everybody, for that Woodson. But though, like I said, though they came up short in the playoffs, like I said, they started strong and had an okay season, especially okay regular season. Couple bright spots. Obviously, someone we talked about in the preview special last year, Amir Gerald, another 1,000-yard year, was named TSDN Stars Division Offensive Player of the Year. 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. A couple other people just maybe stuck out to you.
Malachi Anthony stuck out, of course. You know, he came back. And one thing I think hurt Wilson was Quincy Barber getting hurt.
Yeah, because he was having a real great year, man. He was in the league leaders among league leaders and catches and receiving yards.
I think it started from the first game when they went out of town. Yeah. You know, he had a big game, and then when they played Curl at the stadium, he had a great game.
Yeah, he did.
He had a great game, and I think when he got hurt, you know, it brought them down a little bit. I feel like he was the big playmaker. He was that jet sweep guy. You know, he can go underneath. You know, wildcat quarterback as well. So I really felt like that hurt them a little. You know,
unfortunately.
One guy I like was Rashad Biggs. You know, he surprised.
You guys are gonna hear that name a couple more times in this show, but
I'm not gonna lie, he surprised me.
Yeah, especially in that backup role, spelling Amir
and Zion Cobb.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he came out of nowhere. I remember his name just kept popping up. And
it's one of those, like, you had the game, you keep in Zion Cobb on the time.
Yeah, like, and it was crazy. His mom said something about it, and that's when I really started paying attention to him. Yeah. I'm like, he definitely making plays. You know, making a lot of plays.
So let's transition over to the Stripes division. Man, when you talk about years of trying, years of frustration, and then finally being able to get over the hump.
Yeah, they got over it, all right.
The Bell Griffins captured that elusive Gravy Bowl as they defeated the McKinley Tech Trainers 47-0 in last year's Gravy Bowl. Man, when we talk about years of waiting, think of
waiting, waiting, heartbreak.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Depression.
Most of the kids and most of the players in that game, they could barely put it in words how that felt to, man, capture that title.
And not even just them, you know, even the alumni. You know, guys just happy for them. I mean, I really probably couldn't even put that in words either, you know. A long time coming. That's the best thing. I mean, a dominant season, undefeated 11-0, Gravy Bowl and DCIAA champs. I mean, what, man? You don't go 11-0 for no reason. What led to that dominant season they had, man? I felt like it was their year, it was their time.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, they did what they had to do all year. Literally, non-league. The league play first. It was tough when they went out of town. You know, that was a big thing.
Yep.
Then they went out Virginia. That was a big thing. You know, and I felt like
good measuring stick.
Yeah. And it showed where they at. Only game I wish that we could have literally sold them versus Dunlap.
Yes,
that was the game that was the game I wanted to see that, and I think that would have set the tone. Literally for DC alone, even though they still went undefeated, still handled their business.
That would have told us a lot about both of those teams.
Exactly,
told us a whole lot
on both sides.
Yep,
on both sides.
Yep. And kind of what you always say, man, and I've kind of adopted it myself because I love it. Playmakers, you need your playmakers to make plays, and Bell last year, that's exactly what they had. Ronell St. John's, Stripes Division MVP. Rashad Harris, Stripes Division Offensive Player of the Year. Those two right there, that tandem right there was borderline unstoppable for the Griffins.
I mean, and that's like you say, you fall behind your guys. You know, them your leaders, you know. You're supposed to let them lead. You know, get them the ball, good things will happen. And they had other players step up like Kavan Malloy, who I think if they were able to play, you know, all 11 of those games, I think he would have ran for 1,100 yards. Probably.
And Jeremiah Richardson, he had 11 sacks in just those 6 games that they actually were able to play. So, man, just a dominant season for them. And one thing I want to mention, Coach OJ tweeted out, he said that as an alumni, because I don't know how many people may know this, he actually is a Bell Multicultural alumni.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And he said all he ever wanted to do, man, was pay that school back for everything that institution had poured into him, had done for him. And he said with that type of season, man.
I honestly didn't know that. I mean,
So, again, like we just did in the Stars division, we talk about the winner of the championship, kind of talk about second place. So the McKinley Tech Trainers actually made a push, man. I actually predicted this, that McKinley would meet Bell in the Gravy Bowl, and that's exactly what happened. They made their first Gravy Bowl appearance since the
inaugural.
Yep, since winning the inaugural Gravy Bowl in 2013. Defeated Ron Brown in an overtime playoff game.
That was a good game.
It was, man.
Oh my goodness, it was so good. Pouring down rain and all.
Back and forth contest, man.
It was a great game.
And it was the only game because Anacostia had forfeited to Bell, so it was the only game that weekend, and it lived up to the hype. It was one of the usually playoff games can't be standalone games, especially in DCIAA, because every Friday and Saturday is 2 games each. But that one, man, that carried the load that weekend, man, and it did.
Yeah, it didn't disappoint.
No,
actually, I think it shocked a lot of people on both on both ends.
Yeah, how good that game was. Yeah. So, man, some bright spots for the trainers, man. Obviously, Jamal Thomas and Malik Malloy combined for 18 sacks last year. Just a great season for those two D linemen. What's some other things stood out to you?
I just feel like overall, that's Coach Goodwin. That's his first year.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a big thing, You get your team to the championship after he just came off a state championship.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. Very true.
I feel like shout out to him. I really feel like that was a big thing for the school. They haven't been to the championship since that
13 year. Yeah.
That 2013, and I feel like overall for the school it helped.
Right.
It helped for the school. McKinley Technology School. They're not known for their football team.
Right.
And I feel like that helped them out.
I agree. And for the team that they beat to make it to the Gravy Bowl, we're talking about the Ron Brown Monarchs.
Hey.
One thing that, man, intrigues me about the Monarchs is that a first-year varsity program makes the playoffs and literally comes within an overtime loss of a championship.
Now I'm thinking about it. I mean, that's a great thing overall.
Yeah.
An all-boys school, the first all-boys school,
right.
public school. I feel like it was just great for them.
Yeah.
That first year on varsity, that was their 3rd year being open overall.
Yep.
I mean, shout out to them. Coach Rogers over there, they putting in work.
They
putting in a lot of work.
Some players, man, that stood out to me, obviously, gotta talk about Ron Brown. One of the first names we gotta mention is Mahmoud Kanti.
Hey.
11.5 sacks, and that was just only in the regular season. Had 12.5 sacks overall. Was named Stripes Division Defensive Player of the Year by TSDN.
I think once he gets it all together.
Oh yeah, man. Once it clicks.
Once it gets all together, it's gonna be a problem. I really like that. He really bring a lot of heart to his team.
Absolutely. And a couple other people who bring a whole lot of heart to the team. Speaking of heart, Messiah Joyner, a receiver, a real vocal leader. I love watching him play. And a surprise person who definitely made a run at Offensive Player of the Year in the Stripes, Terrion Burton.
Yeah.
700 plus rushing yards, 12 TDs. Man, and 4 picks and 4 interceptions on defense. A really good year for him. And then of course, the Stripes Division Coach of the Year, Coach Rogers, Lionel Rogers, who's actually cousins with Minoso Rogers. So a really good season for the Monarchs, man. And I'm excited to see what they're gonna have this year. How about you?
I am. It's funny, Coach Rogers, Coach Lionel Rogers, he was one of my coaches at Dunlap.
Really? No kidding. Oh wow.
Coach Chris Harden from Roosevelt.
Really? I didn't know that. Yeah. Small world.
Yeah.
And they gonna be rocking what?
They gonna rock in Unison.
Yes, sir. Yes,
definitely.
sir. So we definitely excited to see what they got. After this break, we'll hear from last year's Turkey Bowl and Gravy Bowl winning programs. Keep it locked because that sports dude will be right back after this. Welcome back, family. I'm your host, Chris Dunlap, and this is the 2019 DCIAA Preview Special. I had the opportunity to talk with each championship-winning program about their success last year and their outlook on the upcoming 2019 football season. Let's take a look. After a dominant 2018 season where they captured that elusive Gravy Bowl title, the Bell Griffins will look to go back-to-back and stay atop the Stripes Division. Joining me right now are Bell Griffin's head coach, OJ Tyson, and team captain linebacker, Elijah Childs. Thank you guys for joining me. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. For sure. So, Coach OJ, we'll start with you, man. Undefeated, 11-0 state champs, Gravy Bowl champs. Man, just a dominant season, man. Just walk us through, man. What went through that dominant season that you guys had?
Well, I think it was our time. We deserved it at that point, right? I agree. We've been through a lot of heartache and pain, and our kids persevered through a lot, including coaches. But I would just say good players, man. We had some dominant players. When you look at, Ronald St. John and Richard and defensive players like Big Danny. I mean, there's a lot of great players. And then we have an unbelievable coaching staff that puts in a lot of work. And finally, we were able to come through.
And one thing that you always say, especially about your coaching staff, is that you guys pride yourselves on being prepared. Kind of talk about the preparation throughout the season, especially, being as dominant as you guys were. How did you kind of, keep the kids level-headed and kind of even keep the coach staff level-headed? What's some things you do?
Well, look, I mean, if losing the last second of a championship game isn't a way to keep you level-headed, then I don't know what is. So, losing and winning is inches, a game of inches. And so for our kids, it's about just preparing them for every situation and against any opponent. So we spend a lot of time preparing throughout the week, and I think it's helped us.
So Elijah, man, as a player and as a team captain, to have the opportunity to win not just a city championship, a division championship in the Gravy Bowl, but follow that up a couple weeks later, man, and win a state championship, man. How did that feel to win 2 championships in 1 year? Tell me about that.
It felt amazing. Got a chance to do something that I've never done before in Bell Houston. And I felt like I had finally got those 2 seconds back.
Wow, good point. So I kind of asked Coach OJ this as well. But so as a team captain, as an emotional and vocal leader, especially on defense, what are some things that you said to your teammates, man, to kind of, keep them level-headed? Because there were some times you guys didn't have opportunity to play because of, team forfeit and stuff like that. What are some things that you, said to them to keep them level-headed and keep them in the game?
Told them that this is a better opportunity for us to compete against ourselves. We only as strong as our weakest link, and we only move as fast as they move.
Man. You gonna be captain again?
I think I have him captain. Yeah.
All right, so as let's look forward to this season. Elijah, we'll start with you. Last year's over. Great season, great to think about the success that you guys had. But coming into this season, man, what should we expect out of you guys? What are we gonna see out of Bell?
We're gonna have a dominant offense, dominant defense. We're gonna have a hungry team. And we just want to make our way back to the top of the food chain. It's a very aggressive team.
Well, look, what I say is we're going to be prepared, we're going to compete, and we're going to finish. And so that starts with coaching staff being prepared and making sure our kids are prepared for anything. And then I expect my kids to dominate on the field and dominate in practice. So if we do those things, I think we'll give ourselves the opportunity to be back on the top of the Stripes division. The reality is, though, is there's a lot of good teams in this division, a lot of great coaches, so we're going to have to earn it.
For sure. But as I'm sure everyone across the city is, definitely excited to see the type of season that you guys have now as the defending champs, having an opportunity to defend the title. So I definitely appreciate you guys. Appreciate so much for joining me. Definitely appreciate you guys. Looking to add to their trophy case, the Griffins will be one of the teams to beat in the Stripes division. Keep it locked because I'm going to head over to 55th Street, Bob Hedden Stadium, and talk to Coach Fuller and the HD Woodson Warriors to see what they got in store for us this season. Led by a dominant defense, the HD Woodson Warriors reclaimed the throne in the DCIAA Stars division. Joining me right now are Woodson's head coach, Greg Fuller, and the reigning Stars division Defensive Player of the Year, D-Tackle Keyshawn Hunter. Thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thank you, Evan.
Appreciate y'all, man. So, all right, Coach Fuller, man, we'll start with you. So, after the loss in 2017, your team battled back, man, to a hard-fought Turkey Bowl 49 victory in 2018. What did that title say to you, man, about the tenacity of young men? What did that say to you?
I just think that it showed that the young men from Woodson had a lot of resilience. They really head down and came back from that defeat in 2017 to 2018 to take capture the title again. So that's just a lot of resilience in those young men.
Absolutely. So Keyshawn, man, one thing that I said throughout the season was how dominant you guys were on defense. As the season went on, or better yet, going into last season, did you guys expect to be that dominant, or was it more so you guys just kind of jailed as the season went on? What went to that dominant defense?
Well, most so we already had the mindset that we was gonna always try to be the greatest defense in the world. That's why we always compare ourselves to like 2013 and get defense, things like that. But like coming up them 3 losses, we had to more so like come take a step back and say, let's get the first things first. Let's get down to the fundamentals. And most of us just jailed after that.
Awesome. And that's one thing, especially, and a lot of credit to you, Coach Fuller. You had a few transfers come in, one, Jabari Haney and a few other guys, to really bring that team together, man, and especially on defense, man, it was awesome to see. So as we get set for this upcoming season, 2019, and just that much closer to Turkey Bowl 50, are you guys excited about that?
Of course, yeah, very much.
Yeah. What should we expect out of you guys this season? What's up? What should we expect?
Well, out of me and my defense, you expect us. We're gonna stay team.
Yeah.
My guys, we got Mardo, Club 9, Sean. We got all of them. It's gonna be one of another. You only get one Turkey Bowl 50.
Yep. And more important, especially for you, only one senior year, man. One senior year. So, what about you, Coach Fuller? What should we expect out of you?
Well, I just expect the young men to be consistent more so than anything this year. Stay consistent as well as execute a little bit better, more offensively. Last year, offense really didn't execute that well, so I'm looking forward to us executing a lot better this year on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, man, as I'm sure a lot of people around the city are, I'm excited as well to see the type of year that you guys have, man, on offense and on defense, especially as we, definitely expect you guys to be among the contenders for that Turkey Bowl 50 crown. So I definitely appreciate you guys so much.
Thanks
for joining me.
All right.
After this break, KP and I will preview the 2019 DCIAA football season. Keep it locked. The Sports Dude will be right back after this. Welcome back, y'all. So we've looked back at the 2018 season. We've heard from each of the defending champs. So KP, man, you know what time it is, and y'all do too. It's time to check out and preview the 2019 DCIAA football season. Go ahead and roll that graphic. All right, man, so start this preview, man. Of course, we're starting the Stars division, and talking about Stars division, we got to start with HD Woodson. And the question this year, kind of like it was last year with Blue, man, are we gonna see a WGOD repeat, man? Do you think they had a potential to do so?
They definitely had a potential to do so. Like, definitely, they in that conversation. If you don't have in your conversation, you might, whatever
you're gonna look like I did last year.
I'm not gonna like, whatever you're doing, you need to chill out. Whatever you're doing, you need to stop.
You're gonna look like me. You don't want to be me. But
they definitely in the conversation.
Yeah,
that's how I'm put it. They definitely in the conversation.
And on paper, man, they
got the names. They got the big names that you need to have that preseason to say, oh yeah, we top dogs.
Got to be right now, just the eye test. Got to be the best team on paper. I mean, they returned key pieces. I mean, we talked about a couple of them in the initial segment. Running back Chris Roberts, who I think is gonna lead the league in rushing, just have a huge year.
You say he can lead the league rushing?
I think so. I think so. Taylor Jackson, who just committed to ECU, and Keyshawn Hunter, who we talked about as well. Just some really good key pieces, man. Who else some others stick out for you?
I'm looking forward to seeing Sean Tucker. Just committed to ECU as well at corner. I really think this is going to be his year where it's his island. Yeah. I'm looking forward to him having his own island and shit, and he's taking over that. And I'm also looking forward to seeing Ahmad McDuffie. Me and him used to go back and forth last year. I'd be like, Ahmad, you're not that good at linebacker. You're a running back, bro. You think you're a pretty boy. But he really impressed me at linebacker. He really run. Him and Jabbar were a good pair, but I'm really looking forward to him sticking out this year. Yeah. Being that guy. So hopefully they can do that. One thing that HD has that, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think any other team has this year, especially in the Stars division, a veteran senior quarterback.
That's a big deal. Returning a quarterback, Jordan Sharps, who's played in the last 2 Turkey Bowls. You know how I am about veterans, man. It's so huge, especially a veteran under center, man. Under center, I'm having a veteran QB who knows the offense, who's ran the offense, returning as a starter. I just think that's so huge, man. And that I think that if HD does repeat, I think he'll be one of the main reasons. Whether he throws 30 touchdowns or 13, just being able to facilitate the offense and etc.
And manage the game and hold it down. Basically hold it down, get it all together. You know, sometimes your leader don't always put up the most heat, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, you know. And I hope he can get that together this year as well.
And I know that thing about being a game manager, that's kind of like, you know, a quarterback don't want to be called a game manager, but
it is what it is.
When you win, it don't matter what they call you, and it works out.
But sometimes Brady, he only go, you know, only got 1 touchdown. They win. You know,
they win. That's
pretty sure he all right with that. But 6 rings for him.
Yeah, and then for HD last year, it worked for him.
Yeah.
And of course, and I said this after I made my unbelievable crazy predictions last year, it still was, you know, it's come to a point now that we have to expect HD to have a big year. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Kind of like my man Who's Mizzou says about T. Roosevelt in basketball. I'll say it about HD in football. If you want to win something in DCIAA football, you're gonna have to go to HD. At this point, it just looks like that's how it's gonna be.
I get that. As Coach Scrap would say, you know, one of the 16 of the last 22. I mean, I got respect. You know, I'm a dumb ball guy, but I also show respect. So that's respect.
Yeah. So let's go on. Let's transition over to Ballou.
Okay. Southeast. You're going to south side. Okay.
Can Ballou capture number 3, meaning their 3rd Turkey Bowl title in school history? Can they do so? What do you think?
I'm gonna definitely say this is an open year. Like, people gonna say HD at the top, but I'm gonna still say everybody else.
Kind of. Yeah. We'll see who separates themselves come season time. Yeah.
Ballou has a lot of new faces this year, and it's gonna be a lot of games that have to prove themselves. Like, I want to say their first game is Bill.
Yep, I believe so. So I mean, August 30th, I believe.
I feel like they got a lot to prove this year. They got a lot of new faces. Coach Ward, this is gonna be, in my opinion, this is his team. This year, this is gonna be his team. So I definitely gonna think they have a chance, but I also say it's a lot of things they got to prove to themselves and the city.
I agree. And one player I believe is gonna have a whole lot to prove coming into this season is quarterback Aaron Penny.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is here to prove what he's made of.
Yes, coming into his senior year, Aaron Penny is gonna have if Ballou is gonna capture their third Turkey Bowl in school history, I believe that Aaron Penny is going to have a big breakout year. And we saw a lot of potential out of Aaron Penny last year, and against the best competition, obviously, you know, the Turkey Bowl champs. In the Turkey Bowl, he throws 2 touchdowns, both under pressure, both in the red zone.
Facts.
I'll even go as far as to say, let's say they keep him in the game, Ballou might have a better chance of winning the Turkey Bowl on that last possession at the end of regulation. Possibly, you know what I'm saying? And then we go to the regular season game, 2 touchdowns. It was picked off by Marquise Tucker, but again, a really good showing for the kid. And then back to the Roosevelt game, again, like you said about that last drive. Those last couple drives.
I'm not gonna lie. People were walking out. You know, people were trying to leave the game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those people. I thought the game was over.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I'm glad I stayed.
It was people in the stands. Why they putting them back in? Why are they putting them back in? You know, and that's what you're hearing when you start making plays. You know, people are like, all right, maybe.
Yeah. But
then it's why he in? He don't know what he's doing. And he make plays. I mean, that's what it came down to. It's about making plays. People gonna talk regardless. You make plays, you know.
You shut them up.
Exactly.
And that's one thing I love about DCIAA. Even back when I was playing, nobody's just gonna give you anything, and you know that. Like, if you some trash,
people gonna act,
and you look like you some trash, they're gonna tell you.
Yeah, people gonna show disrespect in DC before they show respect.
Yeah, you gotta. That's something that you have to earn. And I think in that Roosevelt game, he earned some, and he still has some respect to gain and some things to prove.
Exactly.
But I'll say it like this: if we get 90% good Penny, of course you're gonna make your mistakes. We get 90% good Penny, maybe 10% bad Penny. I think Ballou will once again be in the hunt and possibly get that number 3, get that 3rd Turkey Bowl in school history. But a lot of that will depend on how he performs this year. With the weapons that he has coming back, I think if he's able to have a good year, Who knows what might happen?
Yeah, you're right.
One more thing before we transition that sticks out to you about Big Bad.
Southeast don't give up. That's one thing about Southeast. Blue been through a lot in the past ever.
Yeah, right. Forever, yeah.
And Blue, you know, they in the conversation. I can give them that. You know, Southeast is not gonna give up. I respect that as well. Especially
come playoff time. That's one thing I do like about Minoso Rogers' coach football team. Say come playoff time, come November, it's something. I don't know what they do. I don't know what he says to them. I don't know what's in the water down there, but.
Mumbo different.
There you go. Say it for me.
Mumbo sauce different.
Yes, that might be it. They might get that. It might go to Curry. I'll get some of that mumbo sauce. You know what I'm saying? Turn up. All right, so transition over to a team that, like I said earlier, they've been either right there or on the cusp since 2012.
I already know what you're talking about. You're talking about Tinleytown.
Yep, we're going up Tinleytown, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the Woodson Tigers. My predictions to win the Turkey Bowl last year. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way for them. But
before that, I don't think y'all know how much heat Chris took, especially coming down HD. Like, HD was really at his neck.
As well they should have been.
I literally remember when the show came on that first day, people were calling my phone, hey, what's wrong with him? KP, what's wrong with him? KP, man, he ain't on man time.
I got that too.
Listen, the first scrimmage down HD here, man, you not allowed here. Homecoming. Y'all don't really understand how much heat he took.
It was
and I think it's funny, though.
I loved it, man. It was so awesome. I enjoyed it. You know how I am. I love a good debate. But about the Tigers, man, again, same question from last year. And at this point, the same question that we've been asking since about 2012, 2013. What will it take for Wilson to capture that Turkey Bowl title?
I think this is going to be a different Wilson team, and I don't think people are going to be able to prepare for it. I think this is going to be a year. It's going to be, you have to go watch Wilson scrimmage, which I'm going to have to go do. You have to go watch them play non-league games.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have a different offense, of course, different offense coordinators, you know, different style altogether.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I'm hearing now from Wilson coaches is it's a big emphasis on that line. So maybe we might get some ground and pound this year. Maybe they might go back to that 2012 and before Wilson. You never know.
Yeah.
But I think the offense is going to change now. Mind you, at this time of the year, nobody's really out here doing them yet. But I'm just going over what I hear and what I think.
And one player, speaking of a potential ground and pound Wilson football team, one player that I think has the potential, of course it depends on how their line looks and how they play. I think he has 1,000 yard, 1K yard potential. We're talking about running back Rashard Biggs. Last year I saw Rashard against, especially in the Blue, in their regular season game versus Blue.
He came in, got some good.
He did.
I mean, he came in, produced.
Yes, he did.
And really, people weren't aware of him. I believe I was in the stands. People, who was that? And he, made a lot of plays, and it was like, okay.
Especially in spelling Amir, and of course we know Amir was the feature back of that team, of that offense. But him coming in, it was a nice, shift because he's quick. He has quick feet. Made some really good plays. Made a couple people miss on his way to a touchdown, and on the far side of Wilson's field. Man, so I think he has, like I said, it's a lot of emphasis on their line. If their line can open the holes for him that Coach Markinen will need for them to do, I think he has the potential to run for 1,000 yards. Will he? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think he has the potential for sure.
Yeah. Any other names you got?
Yes. Another name, defensive end Sean McPhail Jr. Had 9 sacks last year. A quiet 9 sacks because if you guys go check out his highlight tape, half of those sacks were literally him just snapping the ball, just blowing past the tackle. So again, I think if he's able to get in those mismatches and use his speed, I think he'll have another 9+ sack year.
Wilson, I think, is more known for speed rushes than big heavy
very
rushes.
True, very true.
Since even when I went to Wilson, they were known as Kareem McDonald.
Yeah.
They always, I feel like, had the speed rushes. So, any other names you got?
One more name I'll mention, just one of the weapons that they have coming back. Because they actually, it's kind of opposite of last year for Wilson. Last year, they returned about 85% of their production. This year, they either graduated or transferred out 85% of their production. So One more name who was actually their leading receiver last year, wide receiver Chad Rockingham. So if he's able to make some plays and Rashard is able to have the type of year that I think he has the potential to have, I think Wilson will be okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. Like I said, it's only August, so we'll see what the heck is going to happen. But I think
early August.
Yeah, early August at that. So I think if Wilson's able to just play Wilson football, they should be fine. But we'll definitely see what happens.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the newest Stars Division competitors. We're talking about the Double R Boys, and I do love that hashtag, by the way. We're talking about Theodore Roosevelt. The Double R Boys last year, in their first year as Stars Division competitors, clinched a playoff berth via a drawing between them, Eastern, and Dunbar. They were able to clinch 2018 playoff berth. And coming from the Stripes Division, going to the Stars Division, a lot of people were saying, oh, Roosevelt ain't going, they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that. This ain't the Stripes, and such and such and such. You know what people say.
Yeah.
But made the playoffs. First league play game, man, showed the potential they had against Ballou. Put Ballou.
If they would have closed that out, we'd be having a different conversation this year.
That's true. Because
that would have closed it out.
That one game would have.
It would have shifted everything, mentally, physically. Literally,
that's true.
That would have been a different season.
That's true. That's very
Even
true.
though they still had to play Ballou at the end again, it was just mentally for the whole city, would have made things different.
I agree.
And even I'm gonna say, their playoff game, they still told HD Wilson, especially a lot of their injuries showed up in their playoff game where they didn't even have the numbers. I remember when they came in, it was like, wow. I'm gonna say at most they had 25 guys, maybe, and they went hard. They held HD Wilson to. I'm not even gonna say 150 yards rushing, maybe. I'm not sure, but that's how the game looked. It was an ugly game. It didn't have, the big wows,
right.
But it was a good defensive game.
Yeah. So, like I said, just spoke about their playoff game against HD. If they want to return to the playoffs this year, again, your moniker playmakers are going to have to make plays. So one of their main playmakers, especially going back to their Stripes Division days, wide receiver free safety Ruquan Brown, he has to make an impact. I'm talking about in all three phases. He has to have a big year in all three phases.
Right now he has 26 offers.
Yep.
26 division offers. His speed right now is crazy. And another thing, his grades, SAT, everything is there.
Love that. Love good grades.
I think he's gonna make a big impact this year.
Yeah.
So,
I think, man, Ruquan. One thing is that you can't teach speed, first of all, and then he's a pretty smart football player, like you said, good grades and all that good stuff. Last year, among the league leaders in interceptions, among the league leaders,
definitely was,
yards.
and people didn't. I don't think people really looked at him as the DB guy. People thought he was just gonna be a speed guy, but he definitely held his own to DB.
Yeah, so I think if he's gonna have to make an impact. They're gonna have to, like you kind of say about those gadget type of plays. Give him some jet sweeps. Give him some screen plays. Do something. He has to get the ball.
Exactly.
Lydell Jones, offensive defensive lineman Lydell Jones, who I think
in the trenches. That's what he holding it down in the trenches.
Yes, he is. And I saw it last year when I went to their training camp, and he was a 10th grader last year. I believe he was 10th grader.
11. I'm not sure. It might be 11. But
coming into I think it was 11th grader actually. Going into that year, I heard him, right, they were going through their drills, they were doing their thing, going over their defense. I heard this guy's 11th grader teaching, like literally coaching in practice. I was like, so I asked him his stuff. So he's going to the 11th. I said, so he's just a 10th grader? He said, yeah. So just some of the things that he was mentioning, some of the things that he was saying, I was like, man, it's been a long time since I've heard an 11th grader, nonetheless, with the football IQ that he has, may have, as far as defensive offensive line go, may have the highest IQ in the league right now. But if he's, again, like I said about Ruquan, he's gonna have to dominate as well.
And I also think the heart of their team is Jesus Robinson. I feel like he's the dog of the team, and I feel like he's gonna have to bring them all together on offense and defense.
He's gonna definitely be a vocal leader, and I think
he sets the tone.
Yes.
He definitely sets the tone for them.
Especially being a linebacker as well.
LBs.
Yeah. That's just right up your alley right there. And one guy that I know, man, that you're big on, KP, is a linebacker, Joton Baggett.
Yeah, he had a sneaky year last year. I think people really slept on him. You know, he flew under the radar for a long time, but he got it together.
Well, was among the league leaders in tackles.
Exactly.
60 plus or something like that. Something like that. But was among the league leaders in tackles. Had a really good year. Why so big on him?
He make plays. I mean, you can't really get away from that, making plays. And it's even though they're quiet players, you need those guys. Yeah, you need those guys.
Those guys are gonna make those nasty, gritty plays.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's transition to a team that Roosevelt and Dunbar were both fighting with to get that last playoff spot. We're talking about Eastern E-Ball. That's my favorite one. E-Ball. I don't know why. I just love that moniker, E-Ball. Can E-Ball return to playoff form, man?
E-Ball, they can. E-Ball to me always is the quiet team. People don't really know too much about E-Ball every year.
Yeah.
Literally everybody say, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to have since their days in the strike. I think that was their only days where they were really, that highlighted team. So I think now they just fly under the radar, which works for them.
Right.
Which if you can do it, you can do it.
Especially 2016, 2017. 2 consecutive playoff appearances.
Exactly.
And just missed it last year. And made it interesting at the end as they defeated Roosevelt. And I believe it was on their own homecoming.
It was on Eastern's homecoming.
Yep.
We actually drove from HD real quick to get there.
Yeah.
And it was I think they pushed it back just so a lot of people came through, and it was it was actually good. It was a good game. In my opinion, I feel like they upset Roosevelt. In my opinion,
I agree.
It was a good game overall.
Especially with Roosevelt, kind of how they're showing against Blue. A lot of people were saying, okay, Roosevelt,
I think last year, we haven't gotten to Dunbar yet, but I feel like Eastern, Roosevelt, and Dunbar, like I said,
that was amazing to watch, man.
And it was like Eastern lost to Dunbar, but Dunbar lost to Rose, but Rose lost to Eastern. It was just circle, big old cycle.
Awesome.
And it was good football though.
Yeah. It was the closest thing that I saw to that 15 year that we always talk about.
Yep.
So one person that I want to mention, and it's kind of a trend with E-Ball. We go back, you mentioned the Stripes days. Jerome Johnson, just unbelievable quarterback for them. Last couple years in the Stars division, Jalen Young. Now we come to quarterback, 10th grader, Jeremiah Drummond.
Yeah, Johnson boy.
Yep, another y'all all over the place, man. Another Johnson boy is gonna be he's gonna start for Houston this year at quarterback as a 10th grader. Now we just named their last 2 standout quarterbacks. Do you think that and obviously being a Johnson, him being from Johnson, you know a little about him. Do you think that Drummond has the potential to, take East to promised land?
Yeah, Jeremiah, he's a different style of quarterback than they've had over the years. He's not, he's not going to run for 1,000 yards. That's just not his game. He's more of a pocket passer, but he's put on a lot of size and a lot of muscle this summer. Where he's definitely be able to stand in that pocket. Even impressed a lot of coaches at 7-on-7 competition. I actually sat with a couple college coaches, and they were actually impressed with him once they found out.
Awesome. So man, one thing that I do anticipate, if we are going to say anything about E-Ball, one thing I anticipate is that the 2018 Stars Division Coach of the Year, Coach Anthony Drummond, he's going to have his team ready to compete. That's one thing that we can say about E-Ball since they've been Stars Division competitors and going back to, when they were dominating in the Stripes Division, they show up to play.
I think it's a sneaky school all the way around in every sport. They just they find what I'm not gonna say they're one of the top popular schools, as people like to call it. They definitely not at the bottom. They're sort of in the middle, and they just they find their way in. And that's just how it is.
Yep. So let's transition again to another one of the 3 teams, and you guys know because it's the last team that we're gonna talk about in the Stars, and this should make you pretty happy. Look at his face. Look at his face.
They Valley boys now, but it's always the mob.
I'm going to ask you this, man, because you a Dunbar guy.
Yeah.
Dunbar back?
Dunbar, we back, baby.
We
back. Coach Bink, we back.
One thing I say about Dunbar, man, especially last year, 2018 showed us the potential that Dunbar has.
The fight they had, the youngins.
Yes.
I'm proud of them. The fight they had, they brought it to literally everybody they played. Yep. One thing that really shocked me was we were at RFK. I'm not gonna lie.
Goodness.
I told them, I said, the key to beat Murray, I thought it was gonna be a discipline game. You know, I thought it was gonna be, you know, jumping off sides, things like that, and they just straight dominated.
I mean, it was like 56-14 or something.
Blowing
like
them out, and I honestly believe Coach Bank, you know, he's a nice guy, he's a good guy. That was me. I'm going for 100. That's me. I'm going for 100.
That's all right.
I'm trying to be.
Don't be ashamed that you're good.
I mean, yeah, Coach Bank. I mean, good guy. You know, he tried to slow it down. That was me. Look, everybody would have knew what happened that day.
So, speaking of the young guys, man, I'll just name 3 off the top. Amonte Dyer, quarterback.
Yes.
We just talked about him in that in their game against in that classic against who the heck did they play? In the classic over at RFK. Against Murray.
He was killing. I mean, you know, he was slinging it.
Yeah,
and
man.
I feel like he's grown up a lot. You know, he came in very young quarterback. He was thrown under the fire, of course, under the Dunbar name, so everybody's gonna be on him.
Oh yeah.
So I really feel like he's coming to his own.
Definitely
I actually saw him about a couple weeks ago, and he put on weight. You know,
really?
He's put on good weight.
So he's putting in
muscle.
work. Good.
He's in college camp, so he's getting better.
Yeah.
You know, more attention to detail, and I feel like his completion rate was better than as far as practice wise, but it looks better than what I saw last year, and that's showing he's putting in work.
Another name, and you told you kind of got everybody hip to him in last year's preview. Jaleel Smith, aka Bear. So when you so when you told me that his nickname was Bear, I was like, Bear? Why is his nickname Bear?
Bear's a downhill runner.
And then I saw him play against McKinley Tech.
Oh, that hit.
And
that made overtime.
Yeah.
I'm almost sure ESPN saw, you know, that was a hit.
Man, ran over 2 guys in one line. I was like, okay, I see why they call him Bear.
I think this year with Dunbar, though, it's going to be a 3-headed monster with, you know, of course, Bear, but you're going to have Dacian Jenkins and Daquan Harvey. I mean, Daquan, he really took over on the JV level. Like, people, you know, people didn't see it. I saw the kid play grassroots. He killed it. I saw him on the JV level, killed it. He has a 4.0.
Really?
He was the 100-meter dash champion.
I'm talking about.
As a 9th grader.
As a 9th grader.
As a 9th grader. And of course with Dacia, I mean, he put on the show as well this past year. I feel like this is going to be a 3-headed monster type year for them.
Coach Bink told me about Dacian Jenkins, and we saw Dacian Jenkins again in the Classic when they played Murray.
Exactly.
Had a 90-yard run right up the gut, pick him up, putting him down, just gone. So
I think one thing that hurt him last year, he didn't get into Dunbar till late. So as far as learning the plays and getting back in shape and everything, now he's in tip-top shape. I feel like this is his year. I think this 3-headed monster is going to work for Dunbar, and I think it's going to take pressure off Amonte as well.
I agree, and especially having a young quarterback and having a strong running game, which I think, and man, you're reading my mind. I think with those 3 guys, especially Bear and Jenkins, I think, man, Dunbar, if anybody sleeps on Dunbar, you know how sometimes we call them trap games. You know, you got a team that you might be better than, or they might be young. I'll say this. If anybody goes to play Dunbar comes to play you, and you just go in there oh, this is just Dunbar, they are going to jump on you, and you're going to have a sad look on your face. Please don't sleep on them.
I say this, too, on the defense side of the ball, you know, Marquise Raspberry, Mike Brown, Tahir Chase.
Yeah.
That secondary, I feel like they put it together.
A young secondary, nonetheless, especially Tahir Chase. Man, had a great year as a 9th grader. Am I right?
Exactly. And also Kayvon Gano. I mean, they've been putting in a lot of work overall. The secondary, I feel like it's going to be together. And 2 names that I say fly under the radar this year are Jamari Armstrong and Josh Goodwin. I feel like those 2 guys, they're going to be sneaky. They're going to make their plays. They've been putting in a lot of good work. Yeah. And I feel like this is their year where they can, get their name on that same level as well.
Let me tell you, and been saying this ever since Coach Bink took the job. They on to something over there, man.
Oh, and I'm sorry, and Devontae Bond.
Absolutely.
I feel like those guys, they sneaky. Yeah. But they going to make plays. And I think this the year, like, if you went to any of the games last year, when they played HD Woodson, they played HD tough. Yeah, man. Even though the score didn't reflect it. Dunbar was in the red zone 6 times, and I've also
Wow. Okay.
I've literally been told this by HD Woodson, they were in the red zone.
Wow, no kidding.
And from talking with Coach Bink, red zone efficiency is one of the big focus points on this year. Yeah. I saw them up Wilson. They were up on Wilson. They were up on Ballou.
Speaking of that Ballou game, Flash, that was for me especially, that was the eye-opening thing. So they led Ballou well deep into the 4th quarter. Exactly. It was at the end of the game where, the veteran instinct and toughness of Ballou you know, they pulled that game out. But Dunbar was up on the defending champs 3.5 quarters.
Exactly. Like, even for their homecoming when they played Roosevelt, it was a great game. So I really feel like, you know, if they just keep that pace alone, they set themselves up last year for, you know, that three-way tie. If they just a little bit over the pace, you know, you never know.
I'm telling you, man.
You know, that's my mob. I'm rocking with them. That's my mob.
That's why I said I knew you was gonna be happy about it. So now let's transition to the stripes division, man. Now, kind of like we just said about HD, are we going to get a Griffin gang repeat?
Oh, okay. I say Bill has to be. I feel like if you the defending champs, you have to be considered a contender.
Let me say this: you go 11-0.
Yeah,
you are automatically the favorite. Like you're not.
But I wouldn't say that because Coach OJ said he has another team that he felt like should be getting all the hype. He said he felt like Brown should be getting more hype this year.
And they will. They definitely will.
I still feel like Bill is in contention by far.
Yeah, and but one thing I'll say though, I don't think it's going to be as dominant. It's not going to be a cakewalk. No. They're not going to just
if it is, I'm saying this now. If it is a cakewalk for anybody in the stripes this year, you got.
Yeah. I don't think Bill will just run through 11-0, beating everybody by 45 points. That's not going to happen. I don't see that happening.
I highly doubt it.
Notable returning starters, notable returning players, linebacker, and then soon to be 3-year starter. We just saw him and Coach OJ. We're talking about Elijah Childs, who'll be a vocal leader and on-field leader for that defense and for that offense. Who else for the Griffins, man? Who you think will make an impact?
I think this year for the Griffins is going to be more of a team. I think it's going to be more. I'm not going to say people won't stand out, but I just think overall as a team, it's going to be that type game. I don't think anybody, maybe 1 or 2 players, just if they have that breakout time, but I honestly think everybody's stats going to be mellow, but it's going to be team W's, which W's a W.
And one thing that Coach OJ and that coaching staff shared with me is that they have a young quarterback who I think they recruited from Johnson, if I'm not mistaken. I won't mention his name.
Of course.
Of course.
Johnson boys.
And so Ronell St. John's, who obviously we know, great quarterback for Bill the last couple of years, worked with the kid and told Coach OJ, this kid is farther along than I was. So when you got Ronell St. John, who knows that offense, knows that team, and you know left his mark on the league, saying that about a incoming 9th grader, eye-opening.
And I say on the defense side, Patrick McDonald's gonna hold it down.
Yes.
If anybody gonna hold it down, I think he's gonna hold it down. And you know he's a Johnson boy as well.
Really? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Boy, what's in the water over here, man? Y'all doing big things. And another name, man, that I think I thought he was gonna have a huge year last year, but kind of flew under the radar. Eric Wells on defense and on offense. If he plays both ways, I think he'll be dominant for that line, for that offense and that defensive line. I think he's going to be a 2-year starter this year. Actually he's going to be a 3-year starter this year, him and Elijah Childs. So I think Eric Wells as well will have a really dominant season. I thought he was going to have one last year. I'm kind of flew under the radar when you're playing with a lot of other playmakers.
They was getting a lot of W's, so
it didn't really matter. It didn't really matter
as well.
But I think Bill will be fine. Again, like I said, you don't go 11-0 and not be one of the favorites. So we'll see what happens. Now for another team who I think has a lot of experience, though it may be sprinkled in a lot of different ways, McKinley Tech. Do you think McKinley Tech can make another title run?
They can, especially behind Malik Miller.
Yes.
I'm gonna say is their heart. So he's a Jefferson guy. I have some feeling towards that. But he definitely makes plays. He definitely is a big time playmaker, and I can respect that. He's trying to take that. Like I said, Tech is a smaller type school. Tech and Eastern are almost on the same level as far as popularity. Tech might be a little higher, but I feel like he's trying to bring them up. Last year he put in, a great individual fight in the championship game.
Yes, he did.
He's getting offers, already committed to Howard. He's staying home. That's rare in DC, somebody staying home like that. So You know?
That was a huge commitment. I hope that starts a trend.
So that has to let you know his grades are good, especially Cato June got him.
Yep.
DC guy.
Yep. Shout out to Cato, man. And another player who I think will make an impact, in addition to Malik Miller, man, you're reading my mind. Michael Johnson. I think Michael Johnson is going to.
His camp stuff I've been saying, he been putting a lot of work.
Yeah, man.
You know, he had a good, I'm going to say, second half of the season last year where he really turned it on more.
Yeah.
And I really feel like coming to a scene. Last year I thought he was a scene, but of course, coming back. But he's really, brought it on. I'm really eager to see what he got going on this year.
Was the team's leading receiver last year, so having him come back as their leading receiver, it'll help their young quarterback that they have.
Yeah.
So, and that brings to my next point about Tech. What do you think we'll see out of soon-to-be sophomore quarterback Robert Stocks?
I feel like this is, it's his team all the way.
Yeah.
And he just got to step up to the plate, show what he's made of, show that he can lead McKinley, show that he can lead Tech. And I want to say their first game against Dunlap again.
Really?
I think I'm not all the way sure. I know it's gonna be an early game, and that's gonna be a big game.
Battle of North Capitol.
That's gonna be a test.
The season wouldn't be the season without it.
That's always a big game.
So and one thing that Stocks has, especially being a young quarterback, has championship experience as a head coach, and a head coach and Coach Chris, and then he has an experienced roster around him. That is so huge to have that experience around you as a young quarterback. So being a young quarterback, especially in DCIAA, teams are gonna come at you. Yeah. You're gonna get those heavy blitz packages. You're gonna get stuff like that. So he has the potential. So I'm excited to see the type of year that he has this year, especially with all that experience around him. Now, to another team who a lot of people wouldn't expect to have as much experience as they have, being a second-year varsity program, we're talking about the Ron Brown Monarchs. Again, like we said, last year, clinched a playoff spot in their first varsity season, and coming into their second varsity season, this will be the school's first senior class.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And a lot of those players have grown with the program.
Yeah. I feel like overall, I would say as a sports, like athletics alone, it's a good year for them.
I agree.
Baseball, football.
Yeah, they surprised me in baseball as well. Yeah. Side note.
But I feel like they have a good thing going overall. They probably had the most players coming back, obviously, because nobody graduated.
Right, exactly.
So
that's a good point too.
So I feel like they definitely have a lot to bring to the table.
Yeah, and Ron Brown, and like I said, man, that experience, and I know for anyone is a DCIAA alum or coach or etc., you guys know how important that veteran experience is to your roster, to a roster. Mm-hmm. Man, you got their quarterback. Of course, we mentioned Mahmoud Conti on defense.
Terrence Parker, I think, gonna have a big year.
Another name who
and Charles Blakely. I really feel like these gonna be, guys.
Yeah.
This is it's always been their team, but this is their year to show. Like last year, your first year on varsity, it's hard to,
really
get yourself in there. Yeah. But they ended up getting themselves, almost there.
Literally on the cusp of a championship berth.
So I feel like this could be a good year for them. Michael Flowers and Terrion Burton, like we said before.
Oh man, I'm excited.
I feel like this could be a good team.
I'm excited to see the type of year that Terrion has. Last year really, man, jumped out at me. I was like, wow.
I'm gonna say this. I feel like Ron Brown overall, this is the year where they're branding themselves. They are pushing, going hard, and I really respect that.
Great point. So, again, and one thing I want to mention about Ron Brown is that a heartbreaking loss. That heartbreaking loss last year in the playoffs, it'll show us what kind of team that they are.
Exactly.
Now, if they're the type of team that I think they are, that loss only lit a fire under them. It only made them better.
Has to.
I mean,
coaches will.
We'll even look back at some of the teams who lost heartbreaking games. Bell lost 4 straight and then just a heartbreaker in 17. Came back the next year, won the championship.
Exactly.
We look at Dunbar's 2010 Turkey Bowl loss. Come back the next year, dominate the league, win the 2011 Turkey Bowl. We look at HD, who are the defending champions, and have won 5 of the last 6 Turkey Bowls. What a lot of people don't remember, after that 3-peat from 08 to 2010, lost in the playoffs to Coolidge and the Dunbar consecutive years in 11 and 12, which set them up for this run that they're on now.
Exactly.
So if Ron Brown is the type of team that I think they are, I think that loss, man, only helped them.
Yeah, I give you that for real.
Now, a team that I'm excited, very excited to see, because they start a new kind of a new culture for them, a new avenue, a new look, Anacostia.
18. That's another. I talked to Coach Jason Lane. He said they're trying to change just what Southeast is. People think Ballou.
That's a very good point.
It's just Ballou. He's trying to bring back Anna. Like you say, Anna had that good year was that 2012 with Coach Tato Jones.
Yes. Oh,
before that, it's been a minute. It was the 90s.
Yep.
He said he wants to bring it back, and I think the city needs that.
Yeah.
The city needs that. So, they still play Ballou, the battle, the Southeast Cup. That's going to be, if he can get everything together like I've been down there, I've seen.
Yeah.
I think we might have a game. Honestly, I'm gonna say Anna has potential to be at least 3-1.
Really?
Wow. They have potential to be at least 3-1.
That's huge.
I'll tell you that. So I'm not gonna lie, that Southeast Cup, that's gonna be a big game.
Yeah.
That's their third game.
It's gonna tell us a lot about Ballou and especially Anacostia.
It's gonna tell us a lot about Anacostia. If you go up Ballou and beat them, especially, that's gonna be big. And Coach Jason Lane, he is a Ballou alumni. Yep. He coached at Ballou.
Led them to the Turkey Bowl in 14. And one thing, I think if anybody can change that culture over at Anacostia, I think Coach Jason Lane can.
He's done it before. He's done it, Coolidge. He's done it at McKinley. These are, he can do it.
Yes.
I'm confident in him.
One thing, just a quick story. So I was doing a show with the girls basketball team. It was an episode of Coach 'em Up, another TSDN broadcast that you guys definitely go check out, with the Anacostia girls basketball team. So I knew that Jason got the job and everything, and I wanted to go just say what's up, see what they were doing, see if they were doing any work, see how things were going. The first couple months as being a head coach. So Coach Walker said, "No, they're on the field." I said, "Go check them out real quick." Just one peek. They had 18 guys working in April.
And I've been over there since. It's definitely.
Yeah,
I remember.
And with that 18 guys, they were missing 10 because those 10 that were missing had academic extracurriculars they had to attend to.
And I also say, if the old Anacostia, I'm not saying that far old, but a couple years, they even had 5 guys workouts. Like a couple guys. When you get to 18, that's a big point.
Yes, it is.
And now I want to say they have at least 30, 35 guys. I mean, that's great. He's on the recruiting trail. Great recruiting. Heavily recruiting. So
real quick, man, good. I want you to explain to everybody in April how huge that is to have that many guys practicing, that many guys working out. Explain to everybody how huge that is in April.
I think it's huge, especially every school has their own situation. But I'm gonna say it that way, situation. Anacostia situation. Of course, we got a new coach. He wasn't in the building at the time. It's different. So when you get 18 guys with that situation, that's a rise up, and you keep pushing, and hit till you hit your ceiling. He got some good guys over there, like quarterback Jalen Webb.
Yep.
I really feel like he has a good arm.
Yeah.
He's young, but I feel like he can get it all together. Wide receiver / safety Damian Gant, aka Debo. He's actually he's good.
Yeah,
he's good.
With the nickname Debo, you better be.
Return to plays, senior this year, return specialist / running back and linebacker Davon Allen. I think it's gonna be his team. I really feel like this is gonna be his senior year, and he's gonna put everybody on his back.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those years. And receiver / DB Jamari Glasgow, I feel like he is going to be that shifty guy, getting space and things like that. And offensive defensive lineman Anthony Harris, I feel like he's going to have to hold it down in the trenches. I feel like they might be a little small this year, but it's also, growing pains. You got to do your first Coach Jason Lane first year, trying to turn things around. Yeah. But you got to remember, they're in Southeast too. Mumbo is different over there too.
Yeah. Don't think just because, Southeast, especially the way kind of it's been the last, few years or so, when you hear Southeast, you kind of automatically think about Ballou. Remember, Anacostia is over in Southeast too. So going over there to play Anacostia, and this is something that a lot of Bell players said, even though they, dominated Anacostia last year, those Anacostia players, they were not laying down. They was like, yeah, y'all might have beat us. That's all right, but we'll see you, even though they didn't get the chance to play them in the playoffs. They said, we'll see you next week. It's one thing about Anacostia and Ballou. But since we're talking about Anacostia, especially Anacostia, they're not going to lay down.
Especially with Coach Jason Lane, his coaching staff, I feel like they're going to get it all together.
Yes.
And it's going to be great. You know, I feel like he's trying to build, you know, something better, especially with the new principal coach. He was one of my coaches at Woodson, Coach Rock.
Really?
Principal Hayes, you know.
Yeah.
They're really.
Who was actually, I believe, an Anacostia alumni.
No, Wilson.
Oh, he went to Wilson. But,
okay. I mean, he definitely has his DC pride at that. But
yes.
I feel like they're trying to change everything around. You know, their hashtag is YANA, the 18.
Yeah.
You know, they really put in a lot of work, and he's definitely one of the biggest supporters they have. And your principal is that supportive because we know you need more than just
your coaching staff and your team.
You need the school, you need your teachers,
parents.
you need your teachers, administrators, principal, the community, parents, cousins, uncles. They need everybody there. And I feel like Coach Jason Lane, he's one guy. He can bring that community together. He can bring that Anacostia community together. And I've had faith in him this year.
Yeah, well, and you kind of led me into my next point. Anacostia, they need a culture change.
Exactly.
And I think that Coach Jason Lane, man, if anybody can go down there in Southeast, go over there to Anacostia, and create a culture change, I believe he can do something.
Yeah, I believe to say just fix it.
Yep, that's it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is your in-depth preview of the upcoming 2019 football season. Well, the only thing left to do is now it's prediction time. So after this break, you guys will hear my highly anticipated Stars and Stripes division predictions. So make sure you don't touch that dial because that Sports Dude will be right back after this.
You want some new swag, you want to look sweet, you need some new gear, check out my new brand Unison Sports Apparel. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at big__KP, or you can follow our Instagram page of my business, Unison the Brand.
Alright, welcome back to that Sports Dude, y'all. Y'all know I'm still here with my man KP. What's good, bro?
What's up with you?
Ain't nothing, man. You know what time it is, right?
Oh yeah, it's that time.
It is
time y'all wanna hear.
prediction time. Without further ado, let's get in predictions. Hey, y'all in the truck, man, go ahead and roll that prediction graphic, man. Alright, so we're gonna do things a little bit different this year. So KP is not gonna make any predictions because as far as he's concerned, if you're rocking Unison, you're already winning. Am I right?
Hey, that's how it is, you know. Nike going with Oregon. Under Armour going with Maryland.
Yeah.
I'm going with who wearing Unison. You know, Dunbar Rose and Ron Brown. As far as right now, nothing to sneak peeks, you know, that's just right now. But of course, we trying to push along. But of course, when we go out of town, when y'all playing these non-league, you know, these charter schools, everything else, Virginia schools, whatever, it's DC or nothing. So at the end of the day, we still DC or nothing.
All right, so man, with all that being said, let's get right into it with my 2019 Stars and Stripes division predictions. Okay, so we'll start in the Stripes division. We'll do things a little different. We'll start in the Stripes division.
Okay.
So,
and you know, spoiler real quick. When I spoil it, you know, a little asterisk mark. I do not know what he's gonna say.
No, he doesn't. This
is why you're gonna see my reaction.
If you guys saw his reaction last year, I was
gonna really run off.
It was genuine.
I was gonna run off. So.
It was genuine. So, all right, let's get right into it, man. So, start my Stripes division playoff 4. My number 4 seed is Anacostia.
Okay.
Anacostia Indians, I think they'll make it 2 straight playoff appearances. My number 3 seed is McKinley Tech.
Okay.
My number 2 seed is the Ron Brown Monarchs in their second varsity year. I think they'll get the number 2 seed.
So you think this is gonna flip? Okay.
Yep. Okay. And then my number 1 seed, the Bell Griffins.
Okay, right, please to that. You don't have anything, you don't think about Coolidge at all? Like you don't have anything you think about Coolidge? Like just ask.
No, not at this point. Not enough that I believe they'll overtake Anacostia to make the playoffs.
Okay.
Not at this point.
I mean they got I ain't gonna lie, they got a new coach.
Yeah.
New whole everything up there. Of course they school getting redone, so a lot going on. So I still need to see them a little bit, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
So my 2019 Gravy Bowl matchup will be number 1 seeded Bell Griffins versus the number 2-seeded Ron Brown Monarchs.
Okay.
I believe Ron Brown will get their revenge in that 3-2 matchup, which we always say are just, it's hard to call, man. Such a great matchup as last year's between these two teams were.
I'm trying to think.
But I think Ron Brown will meet Bell in the 2019 Gravy Bowl this upcoming season.
Okay, now, who you got?
So, my 2019 DCIAA Gravy Bowl champions, I believe that the Bell Griffins will go back-to-back and capture their second consecutive Gravy Bowl in school history. Those are my predictions. I'm going with the Griffins once again this year.
So you saying they're going to move up?
Yep. I believe the Griffins will be the third consecutive Stripes Division team to move up and get in the stars.
Now we get in the stars. Who's moving down?
We get ready to find out.
Okay.
So let's find out right now. Well, you'll hear 4 teams that I don't think are moving down. Let's say that.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So, my Stars Division's predictions. My playoff 4 in the Stars Division. This is going to make some people mad, but I'm all right with that.
Okay.
My number 4 seed is the Woodson Tigers.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
You weren't expecting that?
Hey, okay, so you got Woodson number 4. When was the last time Woodson went 4?
2000 and...
Never. They've never been 4.
No, yeah.
They've never been 4 in the Stripes era.
Coolidge was number 4 in 2010. That's what I thought. So my number 3 seed will be the Dunbar Crimson Tide in a return to playoff form.
Okay, number 3 seed, okay. Last time Dunbar made the playoffs was 15, just saying.
Yes, sir.
I was the last All-State. I was the last All-State player and last Pigskin All-Met and last Defensive Player of the Year from Dunbar.
We'll say this. So, side note, if anybody's ever wondering, he was a dog.
And
say that.
It was funny. I was talking to some alumni. I'm the only player to ever make All-State. Because remember, the state didn't start until 2013.
Yeah,
but they didn't start doing All-State awards until 2014, which was my 11th grade year.
That's true.
And if you know, my whole team got hurt. If you were a starter for, you got hurt. So I'm the first player ever, and I'm talking. It's been Nate Bussey's College career. Hey, y'all watching? Look, I'm just saying. Y'all might got y'all money or whatever. You can throw me something.
That's awesome. All right, so my number 2 seed be the Blue Knights.
Okay. Southeast.
And then my number 1 seed be the HD Woodson Warriors.
Now I'm not even gonna lie. If he wouldn't have said HD as the number 1, number 2, I really felt like Chris might have had to get back his break. I really felt like somebody was gonna come out here.
This is gonna be one of those Fuller just gonna pop up out of nowhere and just give me that goddamn ring. Y'all know how Fuller talks. So my Turkey Bowl 50. First mention of Turkey Bowl 50. My Turkey Bowl 50. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. My Turkey Bowl 50 matchup. I can't wait to see this, man. Turkey Bowl 50. My goodness.
The 1-4 game. Okay. Let's see what you got.
My Turkey Bowl matchup. I have the number 1 seeded HD Woodson Warriors advancing. And I have, by the slimmest of margins, and we'll talk about this in a quick second, the number 2 seeded Blue Knights.
Okay.
Will match up for the 3rd straight year, and this time for the Turkey Bowl 50 title.
I thought you was gonna say, he's gonna get it, but okay.
We'll talk about it in a second. We'll talk about it. So, my prediction: 2019 Turkey Bowl champs, also aka Turkey Bowl 50 champions. My prediction is that the HD Woodson Warriors will go back-to-back, and they will make history, clinching the 17th title in school history and also winning Turkey Bowl 50. Those are my predictions right there. Those are my predictions. Now, we're gonna do something a little different.
The explanation.
Yes. One thing that that a lot of you guys, especially my predictions last year and the year before that, a lot of you had so many questions, and I'm gonna answer some right now. So why I picked who, why I said X, Y, and Z. So we're gonna answer that right now. So KP,
why? Okay, you want to start with the Stripes?
Yeah, let's start with the Stripes.
Why do you have Bell? Do you have Bell being the number 1 seed outright? Like it's no coin, no straw.
No, yeah, I think they'll go outright. I think they'll go outright.
Okay, you say Bell gonna be all outright. What about McKinley and Ron Brown? Is that a tiebreaker? I'm not too familiar on the schedule. Who plays people twice or whatever.
Right. No problem.
But
I think Ron Brown will, with no problem, take the number 2 seed over McKinley Tech. And I'll tell you why. If we go back to that playoff game, now, again, it was the only game on that day for the Stripes division. It was the only football game. I think it was on a Thursday. It was the only game that day. Matter of fact, it was the only playoff game that day, period.
Yeah.
So, and I was the only media person there. The only people that know what I'm getting ready to say are the fans and the coaches that were there and the players that played in that game. Ron Brown should have won that game by 2 scores.
Yeah.
They had 2 touchdowns called back. I saw Coach Scrap, who was coaching there at the time. I was, going around the sideline doing my thing, videotape, recording and all that. And he asked me, so he said, "What you see, big dog?" I said, penalties. Like, you done had 2 touchdowns. That should be a 2-touchdown game. You done had 2 touchdowns called back.
And some, some penalties, like I said last year, I talk about all the stuff on Instagram all the time.
Penalties, man.
Penalties can kill. Penalties, I seen penalties kill. Turkey Bowl, state championships, penalties can kill it, especially unnecessary penalties. That's the thing, unnecessary penalties.
And Ron Brown lost by a touchdown. They had 2 touchdowns called back. So just in that right there, they in the Gravy Bowl last year. So I think Ron Brown will be a much more mature team. I think there'll be a much, obviously, first senior class. A lot of those guys will be 3- and 4-year starters. A veteran team to be a 2nd-year varsity. Nothing against McKinley Tech, but I just think, again, going back to that playoff game and then that first game, Ron Brown should have at least won the playoff game, and I think they'll capture the number 2 seed and beat McKinley Tech in the playoffs and, go on to play Bill.
So, do you think Ron Brown and Bill is a close game?
Do I think Ron Brown and Bill is a close game? That's a good question. I think a lot of that will depend on how Bill looks this year.
I say it's going to be a close game. Like I said, I'm not doing predictions.
No, sorry.
I feel like it's going to be a close game, and that's just based off what Coach OJ says.
Yeah.
What I've seen already, but I think it's going to be a close game regardless. So,
I think, like I said, I ain't saying Bell's just going to blow them out 40, 50 to nothing. I'm not saying that. But I
highly doubt it.
I think Bell, it takes a lot for me to say a team is going to do X, Y, and Z until I see it. Even making predictions, like even looking at them now, man, I'm like, do I really want to say that? And blah, blah, blah. But I think they'll beat them 10, 12 points. I think it'll be a 10, 12 point game.
Okay.
If I had to put out a point spread, 10, 12 points.
And it's funny, I think this year in the Stripes is going to be, 3 or 4 new head coaches? Anacostia, Phelps.
Coach OJ is the only veteran coach, really. Well, Coach Chris comes back for a 2nd year, but Coach OJ is really the only veteran coach.
Anacostia, Phelps, Coolidge, and Cardozo.
Yep.
So,
what else you got, man? Keep going. This is kind of like a shift. I'm being interviewed for, James.
For the Stars, okay, so you had Wilson. Wilson for the 4th seed. Why is that Wilson for the 4th seed?
Wilson for the 4th seed. And before anybody says it, Chris, how do you have Wilson winning last year's Turkey Bowl and then they're the 4th seed? I'll tell you why. They didn't win the Turkey Bowl. They didn't win the Turkey Bowl. They came in 3rd. So 4th seed really isn't that far away.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't think are they 4th seed by far? Like, is Roosevelt and Easter just not?
No. Let me tell you. Let me ask you the first question first.
Okay.
I put Wilson as the 4th seed because somewhat of their line and Rashard, man, is really all they bring back.
My only question with Wilson is just the quarterback situation.
Yeah, and when
some athletes.
Before the Malachi Anthony transfer, I had Wilson higher. Before the Malachi Anthony transfer and before a couple other transfers as well. But you transfer out and then you graduate Quincy, Amir, Jarius Belinga, and so many other names. It's not going to be the same football team. That's not going to be the same football team by far. At least I don't predict them being the same football team.
Thank you, Dan.
As far as do I think they'll win outright? Do I think they'll just be 4th seed and won't be close? No. Do I think Easton's gonna make a run?
Can it be a 3-way tie again with Wilson, Rose, and Easton?
No, I don't think it'll be a 3-way tie. Okay. I don't think Easton will beat them. because I think if Eastern's year to make the playoffs and really make us last was last year with Marquez Phillips, Jalen Young, Vances Russell, and those guys. I think if they were going to make some noise last year, which they did, especially their upset against Roosevelt, that was the year last year. Okay. Coming into this year, especially with a 10th grade quarterback, nothing against him and nothing against E-Ball. Got big love for E-Ball. I just don't see it. Okay. I just don't see it. For Roosevelt, kind of the same thing. Coming into their first season as Stars Division competitors,
and they're gonna have a freshman quarterback too. With Buddy.
They returned just pretty much an entire Gravy Bowl winning roster.
I can understand why you said it.
And put it like this: but if let's say Roosevelt does, beat Woodson, I won't be surprised. I won't be like, oh my gosh, no, I won't like fall out of my chair or nothing like that. But I just don't see that happen.
Okay, so now on to the 2-3 seed.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to talk about this one.
From what I saw last year, because I was sick last year. I was at home sick. Like then when I'm getting calls, Dunbar's up. I'm like, okay, we gonna pull it out.
Right.
So I'm like, now Baloo's losing so much, but Dunbar has so much coming back. Why do you still say Baloo will get Dunbar?
So again,
is it because I know Dunbar plays HD twice? Did that have any factor into it?
No, actually, I did. I hadn't seen any schedules yet, but now that you say that kind of makes sense now. You know how I am when it comes to young teams.
But what is it? Okay, so I'm telling you, what's a young team now? Because Dunbar is majority 11th grade, where you have Baloo, the same situation.
It's kind of true. That's kind of true. That's a good point too.
And I also,
I'll give you, my my take of it when I was preparing this prediction. I was, watching film, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm interested in this, by the way. Like, I'm very interested in this.
One thing about young teams. And we're talking about, teams that had a lot of first-year starters, stuff like that. It takes a lot for me to say they're going to, upset or defeat a team who, in Baloo, we've seen be battle-tested for the last 3-4 years. But I will say this, and I want everybody to hear me closely. If Dunbar gets the second seed, and meets HD in the Turkey Bowl, I will in no way, shape, fashion, or formality be surprised. Like, literally, I was that close to putting Dunbar as the second seed. Okay. And I'll tell you why. When you have at that time, the defending champion Knights on the ropes late in the season, well into the fourth quarter, where they had Gator, Speaks, Young, Bean.
And I think that's a big argument I think people gonna make. That's why,
which is understandable.
That's why I'm sort of asking.
And trust me, it was a fight right there for me as well.
Cause I already know they're gonna make that argument because now this year Dunbar will have the veterans compared to Baloo. Because even though like you were young, you were thrown in the fire, but Baloo was the opposite. They don't have that many guys who were thrown in that fire. So I can see what that.
I see my point, but you can see the side.
I can see what they're gonna say.
Right, absolutely, and I can too. And like I said, especially in that 3-2 in that playoff matchup, and something else about Baloo, and that I come to know about him, a No-So Rogers coach football team. Come November, it's something different about the Knights, man. They turn it on.
Okay.
Like last year, they lost. Woodson, for lack of a better term, was kind of wearing them out. It was a 3-score game. Baloo scored like just before end of regulation. It was a 3-score game technically. And then they come back and beat Baloo by 2 scores. The very next week, 2 weeks after that, the next week after that loss to Wilson, they take, 2 weeks, it was 2 weeks after, they take HD to the limit and only lose by a score. So, something about Baloo in late season, man, they're a different team. They're a different team.
I get that.
So, but like I said, if Dunbar beats them in the regular season and then absolutely upsets them and clinches the Turkey Bowl berth, trust me, I won't be surprised. Not in the least bit. If anything, if you like now, this is August, it's early August. Like, let's say, man, Dunbar, man, they look like not Dunbar of old, which I was going to not Dunbar of old. That's a whole nother conversation. But if they look, man,
they're gonna be back. Trust and believe.
If they look,
the mob gonna be back.
Like like even better than I think they're gonna look. Like, and I'm talking about good. You know what I'm saying? It might. And you ask me this. Let's say you ask me this in October. It might be different.
So okay,
I might say Dunbar easily 2 seed, but who knows? We'll see.
So now a new question.
Yes.
Do you have HD being just here and 5 teams here?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the only team.
I figured he was gonna say HD was gonna be like at one level, and everybody else was gonna be in the mix. But you have your real contenders. I feel like he was gonna say that.
And I don't want anybody to ever think that anytime that I pick HD to win anything, it's because I'm an alumni. No, I think everybody kind of learned that last year.
It really shocked a lot of.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of learned that last year,
especially Wilson.
Right. I think HD will again go undefeated in league play, as they did last year. I obviously didn't expect them to do that last year. I think they'll go undefeated in league play this year. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think they'll be Turkey Bowl 50 champions. That's really it. That's really it. I know that's kind of anticlimactic, but yeah, I mean,
I got you.
I picked HD this year, and HD's not gonna like this. I picked HD this year for the same reason I picked Wilson last year. They returned 75-85% of their production.
Gotcha.
Same thing as Wilson last year. I know y'all probably want to hear that, but I picked you guys this year for the same reason I picked Wilson last year. And one thing I want to mention, and then I'll let you ask some questions. Everybody, if you're watching this, so you probably done played Madden at least once in your life. And if you're watching this, you've also heard of the Madden curse, which I don't care what nobody says is a real thing. I don't care what nobody says. So, we look at my last 2 Turkey Bowl predictions. We look at HD in 2017, which by all means was possibly the biggest lock of all time.
Are you jinxing HD?
No. Listen what I'm saying.
That's what it sounds like you jinxing.
Listen what I'm saying.
Okay.
So, in 17, I picked HD. It was probably like, you asked me, that was a lock. There was no way they were going to lose. But, it was Belushi year. Last year, I picked Wilson. We saw what happened. So, one thing it's kind of like quote unquote.
Sound like a jinx.
I'm going somewhere. It's kind of like quote unquote a curse of the sports dude. But in all seriousness, not a jinx. Listen, I'm going somewhere.
Is this a great curse?
I'm going somewhere. In all honesty, regardless of anything, y'all still got to go play. Like I just said,
right.
I picked the last 2, my last 2 Turkey Bowl picks.
I was wrong.
One didn't make it, one didn't win. So again, and I'm glad that everybody, so emotionally invested in these predictions. But you still got to play, and you still got to either prove me right, meaning HD and Bell, or you got to prove me wrong, meaning everybody else. So that's it. So it kind of quote unquote. I like when I was developing, I say, dang, I've been wrong twice. I got the Gravy Bowl ones right, but
I'm hoping this year is just a non-drama, non-scandal year, because I'm just hoping.
Yeah,
just a football.
Yeah.
Football.
That's my hope every year.
From players to parents to coaches, everybody just.
Yeah. Let's just make this a great year, because it's shaping out like it's going to be that. We got a lot of kids. We got a lot of offers. Yeah. So let's keep this year clean. Let's just celebrate this year, especially with the upcoming Turkey Bowl 50. Let's just have a good year this year.
Yeah.
So you got anything else for me, man?
Move in unison.
Yes, sir.
Move in unison. That's all it is.
Felt kind of weird to get interviewed for once, but there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's your 2019 DCIAA preview special. I definitely hope you guys have enjoyed this show and learned a lot of information and everything you need to know headed into this upcoming football season, which me and KP can definitely agree on. It's shaping out to be a really good one. So make sure you guys subscribe right here, right now. If you haven't subscribed, pound that subscribe button right now, right here, and click the bell so you can get updates on full game and highlights, interviews, and etc. Right here, this is TSDN, That Sports Dude Network. Make sure you subscribe right now, and also make sure you follow both of us on social media. You can follow you at
big__KP on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow my business page for Unison the Brand. It's Unison the Brand on Twitter and Instagram. You can get on we got a website now, Unison CB.
Awesome.
Get with us. We got the football uniforms, basketball, compression, graphic, culture shirts. We really pushing. Support me. I'm supporting y'all. It's DC enough.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And also, you guys can follow me on Twitter at _thatsportsdude, and also on Instagram at _thatsportsdude_. On Facebook, Chris Dunlap, that sports dude. And again, say it one more time, make sure you guys subscribe right now to TSDN, because trust me, you don't want to miss anything. And we got you covered, DCIAA football. So, we out, man. We done?
Hey, we out.
Good?
I already know. Moving Unison, we out, man.
Yeah,
man. It's time to work.
So on behalf of my co-host KP, and as always, thank you for joining me, bro. I definitely appreciate it. I'm your host, Chris Dunlap. Peace.